So there are so many videos out there about habits of high performers and successful people. But what about the habits of caring and conscious humans? Those who really care about the impact they have on others and on the planet, and we want to not only improve their skill set, but also evolve in the more loving and compassionate version of themselves. What about the habits of those people? Because I don't know about you, but I believe that becoming a more loving and caring human is way more important than being a high-performing human. Plus, it's been proven that being more loving and caring leads to a happier life, as for being more performant, not necessarily. So in this video, I share 8 habits, or better said, ways of being, to cultivate if we want to become better, more conscious humans. So the first habit is to spend time tuning in. So I think that one way to become a more conscious and aware and loving human is to spend some time daily, if possible, tuning in, meaning like through meditation or journaling or just self-reflection. And that's mainly because these practices help to develop self-awareness, and self-awareness is key for self-improvement. Plus, these practices also help us be more in tune with our intuition, our inner wisdom, or inner guidance. The second habit is to avoid playing the victim. I think another important habit to become better humans is to take full responsibility of how we think, of what we say, and what we do. By not playing the victim, we also acknowledge that it's not what happens to us that determines how we feel, but more how we respond to it. And if we go even deeper into that concept, I think it can imply to appreciate the opportunity to learn and grow even when the experience is painful in the moment. The next habit is to be humble. Humility, in my opinion, is one of the most important qualities of conscious human. When I meet someone who's naturally humble, I always perceive them as being very wise. A very practical example of humility can be feeling grateful for our accomplishments rather than excessively proud. I think that humility and gratitude go hand in hand. For example, I'm a runner. Well, I like to run. So sometimes when I go running at the park, if I pass someone because I run faster, I can't help but feel proud. And if someone else runs faster than me, then I might think like, it's because they have longer legs. It's embarrassing. So a more evolved reaction would probably be to feel grateful. Grateful for the ability to run, grateful to be healthy, grateful to spend time at the park. In my experience, feeling grateful is the best way to shift from pride to humility, which leads to the next habit, being grateful. The usual way to practice gratitude is to write a few things we're grateful for in our lives. But if we want to go deeper, like another level of gratitude, it's really to be, again, grateful for everything that happens to us, the good and the bad. That's not that easy to do. I think journaling is a great way, like journaling about our problems and journaling about how each problem can help us grow and evolve can be a good way to practice this type of gratitude. The next habit is to forgive both ourselves and others. So forgiveness is really like at the core of so many spiritual texts, if it's not all spiritual texts, like A Course in Miracles and the practice of Ho'oponopono, for example. There's also a David R. Hawkins scale of consciousness that puts guilt and shame as the lowest vibration emotions. So self-forgiveness is super important if we want to evolve and become better humans. And forgiving can simply be letting go of the need to punish. The next habit is to avoid judging others. I think that non-judgment is another habit to cultivate if we want to become better humans. I don't think anyone can do it perfectly except for enlightened masters and people like Eckhart Tolle, who's the author of The Power of Now, but we can learn to judge less. And the best way to do that is probably by cultivating compassion. I remember about 3 years ago when I was in Thailand, I was waiting for the bus to go from Surat Thani, which is near Koh Phangan, to go to Krabi, which is on the other side, and it's like a 8 hours-ish bus ride. And I was waiting for the bus, and there was a man there, a Westerner, who seemed to be a bit drunk, who was waiting for the bus too. I remember thinking, how much do you bet that he's going to sit right beside me? Of course he sat right beside me. And he smelled beer, and it was just like sniffing, and I was just so disgusted, and I think like I just tried to put my entire body like on the side, like as far as I could from him. And about 30 minutes after the bus left the station, I remember something shifted within me. I didn't try to do anything, it's just suddenly I felt this wave of compassion arise within me. At that moment I realized that we were the same. We both had our problems. He drank because he wanted to feel better, and I tend to eat a lot of sugar to feel better. We just have a different way of expressing inner discomfort. And this realization made my judgmental thoughts shift into compassion. And it felt so good. I felt a great sense of inner peace. However, I also realized later that it's not that easy to trigger compassion on demand. It seems to be something that we must cultivate. And the best way I know to cultivate compassion is a practice from Buddhism that's called metta, or loving kindness meditation. I've already made a video about how to practice this specific meditation technique, so I'm going to link it somewhere on the screen and also in the description. But in my experience, cultivating compassion through the practice of loving kindness is one of the most effective ways we can sort of smooth out judgment. And the 8th habit is to serve. I also think that becoming a better human means to enjoying to serve and help other people. But I think that all humans feel this sort of innate joy in helping other people. There's even a term for that in psychology called the helper's high. It's about the almost euphoric feeling that we experience when we help someone. For example, when we volunteer or even just holding the door for someone. Of course, all these habits are based on my own personal observations, and I would love to know what it means to you to become a better human. It would be nice if you could share your thoughts with us in the comments below. And that's it, guys. That's it for me. I hope you liked this video. Please let me know if you did by giving it a thumbs up, and also subscribe if you aren't. And I wish you a beautiful day, and I'll see you next week.